Woo! Okay. Hey, ghouls, demons, and weird ones. I almost slid out of my chair. So welcome to this video. We are gonna talk about, what did I want to talk about? My ordering process. So I feel like it might be confusing. I'm trying to make it simple. One person. I am one person, and I think that I don't know. I don't know what I could blame. I could blame capitalism. I could blame America. I could blame just the in consideration of fucking humans. But I'm one person, and I create everything from scratch. So it takes time for me to do things. Not only does it take the time to do it, but also I don't believe in mass production. I firmly believe in my mental health and self-care. And then there's also the energetic and spiritual component to everything that I do. So I'm not a procrastinator. That's something I've had to really heal and work on in my life, is I'm not a procrastinator. I have an internal clock on knowing when it's go time. Cause once I go, I'm so efficient. I don't want to say that I'm fast. I don't want to say that I'm quick. I want to say that I'm efficient. So it looks like I do a whole lot of, I think that's a creative person, right? So you look like you're doing a whole lot of nothing for a really long time, and then all of a sudden, bam, you do a lot of things. So like I didn't write a book, or like I wrote some poems, but I hadn't released like a new book. Like I had mentioned, oh, I want to like release like at least one book a month, which I can do. Like my short story books. If it's a longer book or like a more novel, not short story, then yes, it's gonna take more time. Like I could, if I really wanted to, do it in a month. I don't want to, because I don't like rushing the process. Like I don't want to just throw something together for the sake of it meeting some fucking fictional deadline. I think that's fucking stupid. So I hate the external pressure of like, more, create new, create more, create this, do that. Like I can, and I do, but it's funny to me how efficient and constantly, like I'm a generator. I've mentioned that in a few of my other videos. So human design, I'm a generator. So I'm go, go, go. I'm Energizer Bunny. But then even that, people are like, oh, it's still not good enough, go faster. I kind of think it's I don't know, I think they're baiting me a little bit, and I'm not gonna burn myself out for people, because I have. That was my lessons. I'm no longer burning myself out for people. So I created this ordering process that works for me, seems confusing to people, because it's so flexible, and I don't think we're used to that much nuance or flexibility in society, which is, I'm a moon ruled person, and we're used to a patriarchal, sun ruled, constant 24-hour cycle, right? So like I say, I hadn't written anything for like 2 or 3 months, and my husband's saying something, there's chatter online, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I released, ooh, what's in my eye? I released 4 books. So 3 for my nieces and then a poetry book. And I released all 4 at one time. It took me 3 months. So I mean, because I had sat on the stories, but if I break down all of the time, it took me 2 months to do all of that for all 4 books. So people are like, where's more? I'm like, I need to, like, these need to take off somewhere. But I don't know. Part of me thinks that I'm just like a seed planter, and just like constantly like spewing seeds as they fly around. Like I'm a dandelion, and you blew a wish, and all of those little things are just constantly going everywhere. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it. It's just interesting for me, how fast I can create, but then how little patience I have for things to take off. Because just like everyone else is ready for the next thing, I'm ready for the next thing. I really don't like my rest cycles. I really, 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 really love just getting lost and creating and go, 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 go. But I do know when to rest. I just don't rest that often. One, I don't always feel like I need it until I get to other things. When I get caught up in other people and I get out of my own cycle, my own rhythm, that's when the burnout happens. But when I'm on my own rhythm, I don't do anything for 3 months, and then bam, in 1 week, I wrote 6 books. which is crazy to me. And it's because like I had this like internal deadline that I had that made no sense to anyone else. I was like, I have to write these books for these people right now. And I told everyone and everything else to fuck off for the week, and I did it. It's like, so you did nothing for 2-3 months, and then now you have 6 books. It's like, yeah, well, actually, I did shows and events and like art markets, and I created candles for those 2-3 months. So it's like, I just, different cycles. So there's times where I write, there's times where I make candles, there's times where my creative energy is into my house or buying clothes for myself, or there's so many realms of self-expression that I get lost in. So I'm a Leo moon. So talk about moon ruled person that's ruled by Leo. You see all the confusion. If you follow along with all of that, you'll understand. So anyway, the ordering process, it just became too much to juggle between like trying to have like stock of products, trying to have content, trying to do this, trying to do that, blah, 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 blah. And then I really like custom orders. I love doing intuitive work, especially with the candles. And the stories I'm becoming to I guess I'm refining that skill of being able to as quick and easy as I am to connect and intuitively create a candle. Like I've gotten fast over time, right? That's talent, that's skill building. That is what because I've been doing candles since 21, and the intuitive candles I've been doing since 22, and like in this way with like the towers and stuff like that. So like that's the whole point. You get more proficient the longer you do things, okay? So I'm getting more proficient with the books, but I need to balance out my own wellness. I forget what it's called. It's some type of year cycle. I was talking to my friend Todd about this just the other day. I can't remember because I read about it briefly once, like a year ago, and it stuck with me. And I've just naturally follow. I'm like, okay, well, if this is the cycle, so then about this time it would shift from Leo to Virgo. It's a Virgo thing. It's a 6th house thing. Don't know how to explain it any further than that. That's about wellness. So that's like a big thing that I've been dealing with this year in the year of the snake is wellness and healthy, balanced cycle routines. Okay, that is of service, not in service. All of that, right? So I do everything by the moon, which I've kind of always done in a way, in my own way. I'm definitely just like a moon person, to be stereotypical witchy girl. But I open up my orders on the new moon, and then I close them at the first quarter, but not always. And that maybe that's my own inconsistency that I need to work on. I've kind of debated on that, to be honest, but like when orders are slow, I don't mind keeping them open, but I kind of also want to establish that expectation and that boundary. Like, this is my ordering process. If you miss the window, you need to wait. Like, it's about like not parenting people. Or people pleasing. It's like, well, if I leave the orders open, that's kind of like people pleasing, but it's also like, I don't want to miss an opportunity. There's a lot of factors at play. So if orders are slow, if things are slow, I don't mind keeping them open. But typically, you order on the new moon. I close it by the first quarter. Between the first quarter through the full moon, I'm creating. So those 2 weeks, I'm just lost in creating. And then the last quarter is the final release, right? I ship everything out and everyone gets their stuff. And that includes books and candles. However, there have been times where it's been such an influx of orders that's overwhelming. Trying to create, even in that window, it's like, well, do I set limits on okay, so I'm only doing this amount of each, let's say I'm only doing 10 of each category. And then it's like, well, that doesn't always work because, maybe 20 people want to do the $50 tier and only 5 people want to do the $100 tier or whatever. And so I don't know, trying to balance out those things is really difficult. So that's why, I don't know, I kind of have, again, I have a adaptable structure. It's like one of those, I'm picturing a little ball that is in doctor's offices and squishes together and then it expands and it crunches and you can move it around. that is kind of how I like to operate. So it's really case by case scenario. It just depends. People don't like that. I kind of don't like that. But I do like it at the same time, because if something like, you need flexibility in the world. Like, I'm a fixed sign, so I'm Aquarius, an air sign. I understand the need for fixed structure, but everything is always constantly moving and changing. You have to be fluid. So that's like what water teaches you, right? And I think fire to an extent. Air and, well, in air should, you would think. But I feel like air and earth are more or less flexible than water and fire. But that gets into a whole other thing. So anyway, that's like how I like my process to be. That's like for books and everything. However, if it comes to it, like bigger, intuitive candles, or the books, it might take longer. And like I would tell people, I communicate clearly. I try to. I over-explain things. Maybe I'm a little annoying in how much I like to elaborate, but I want to make sure people are clear. I hate being misunderstood. I fucking hate repeating myself. I've gotten over that. I have to repeat myself all the fucking time because I'm constantly meeting new people and it's whatever. But I want things to be as smooth as possible. And if that means I take the reins, I will. Maybe I have issues with control. Pisces Saturn would have shown me I definitely do. So I'm learning to like release that control a little bit, while also letting people, I don't know, not walk all over me, so to speak. Because it's like, hey, no, like, I'm sorry, this is gonna take me a while for these reasons. Or hey, like, you wanted this design, it didn't work. There's a candle design, I tried building it one way, and it was such a fail, and then it took me an extra month, because then I had to go refine other pieces to try to build it. And that happens sometimes, because like that's the thing, like I'm not a mass-produced candle company or even like author. Like if I'm doing custom work like this, it's going to take time, and so I don't mind taking orders. And like I don't know how to do like a wait list. I've also thought about keeping things open. And then just like, hey, your order number 284. So you're not gonna get this. And like, I don't want, because like it depends, right? Things go viral randomly, and then you get an influx, and then it settles down, and then it gets an influx, and it's just like, so how do you have a steady like routine? I still don't know, because things constantly change, and then like as I add new things into my life, I want to make time for everything. Like I definitely, what is it? Is it the fig tree? Sylvia Plath, like I'm really upset that I can't be everything all the time. Like there's so many things I want to do. It's really hard for me to just pick one or two things. But something I've also learned is like that just is more than enough. Like the fact that I didn't think just candles was enough, or just writing was enough, like it's never been enough for me. And I kind of realized like, no, it's perfectly okay, especially for right now, if this is all you're doing. If you're only, because my husband would say that, well, you need to expand your store. Don't only do candles, or don't only do this. It's like, this is a lot to fucking focus on right now, bro. Like I'm mouthy. My poor husband, he hears it. He's a great soundboard. He's a wonderful petty tyrant or adversary, like that helps me with that discernment and problem solving. So I really appreciate those moments in a relationship, but it's not always fun as far as like a marriage is concerned. But it really helps me kind of understand like, well, there's nothing wrong with only focusing on this and perfecting it. There is admiration and respect and all the good things about perfecting something. And then there's also really no shame in just kind of being a jack of all trades. But when you are a jack of all trades, or you're expanding or spreading yourself out that thin, you have to accept that things aren't going to reach a certain standard. So then if you have an insane standard like I do, it's chaotically neurotic. It is honestly impossible. That's where the God complex comes in. It's like, who the fuck do you think you are? It's like, I don't know, but this is my standard of life. I don't reach my standard. The world doesn't reach my standard. I'm fucking pissed off about it all the time. So I really had to kind of overcome that and accept like, okay, well, if I'm not going to dedicate 100% of myself to this, I have to accept that it's going to be mediocre to an extent, in my opinion. Like there are designs that people really love and I'm disappointed because it didn't meet my standard, but to someone else it's because they're not in their head, they're not in my head about it. And I think that's something that an artist always deals with. Like I heard somewhere like the biggest issue that artists have is they constantly want it to look like they didn't make it. And I think that's something I struggle with a lot, is I really struggle with appreciating my work, because not just comparing it to other people, but because like I know I made it, and there's always that part of me that knows that I can be better, so I know that my work can be better, and I'm really mad or upset in the moment that it's not the best. Like I'm constantly upset that I'm not always at the top, if that makes sense. Like I don't know, maybe it's the sun thing. Like the sun always wants to be like high noon, and then it's like, what do you mean I have to go set? But then here's the thing, the sun is always high noon somewhere, and that's illusion of time and whatever. So all of those concepts I really had to sit with over the last few years and figure out. So with my process for now, I say for now, if it changes, I'm saying everybody, because I just change things constantly. I'm constantly adjusting and adapting and pivoting to make things work for me, to be successful. It's all about the legacy and the longevity of everything. So right now it's candles and books. I do have some merch and stuff like that. Now merch is always available. They're also made to order. Like everything that I do is made to order. I don't have size runs of things. I like creating little gift packages, and so you order something, it's gonna take a couple weeks because I have to order it. It has to be made, and it comes to me, and then I put it together in its little package, and then it sends to you, and it's all in divine timing. You always get everything at the time that you need it. I've set that intention for my work. I do my very best to uphold that standard, and that's why where things get delayed, I have to wonder what is the reason for the delay without making excuses, being like, I don't want it to be on the negative side of things. I want it to be as genuine as possible. And sometimes it's crazy, delusional, all of the, like you feel that way. It's like, man, like, I don't know why. What is blocking me from creating this? It's like, it's not, you don't need to be focusing on this right now. In fact, you're wasting time and energy beating yourself up over the fact that you're not doing what you think you're supposed to be doing right now. And life can be that way, and it's always a struggle. But that's the control thing. So the less control that I've had in the timing of things and just trusting the inspiration, because when I force things, that's when I get really upset and things not looking the way that I want them to. But if I surrender and wait for that moment of inspiration, things usually hit my standard easier or better or whatever. So yeah, so I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at with everything as far as the process goes. So that's my booking process. If any of it makes sense, I know it's kind of crazy, but to recap, new moon, I open up orders for custom work, okay? Custom work is the new moon through the first quarter. So that's about a week. You get about a week to place your order. And please time it, especially if you're like a spiritual person and you're wanting it for certain astrological or seasonal energetic timings, be timely. You hit me up last minute for something, I'm going to be not very nice to you about it, because what the fuck? I get so irritated with stuff like that, and it's not my problem. People like to make it my problem, and I don't have the patience for that. But I also work with people at the same time because I know how life can be. So anyway, I close it by like 10 to midnight. It depends. Sometimes it's even the next day. You might get away. If it's open, it's open. I close it when I remember, because there's too much in my brain sometimes. To 10 p.m. on the dot. No, sometimes I'm already asleep. And so it doesn't get closed till 9 a.m. the next day. And it is what it is. So that's roughly the time frame. And like I said, I ship out orders by the last quarter. For other things, generally speaking, so like candles that are in stock, books that are in stock, merch, other things like that, things that aren't digital, I go to your email, which should be immediate. I tend to do shipping on Mondays. Mondays are my administrative days. It's Sacral Chakra Monday, so that is like a, you know, a foundational thing. I feel like root chakra days are for like home life, chores, personal, disciplinary things, and then sacral is like the next leg, which is like outside of yourself and your number one priorities. So like, you know, it's you and your family, like your home life first, and then like work or business second. So sacral chakra second, admin day Monday. When I do like a lot of shipping, that's when I reply to like a lot of emails. So if you don't get a response from me, Monday's like a really good day for me to do that if I haven't already responded to you. That's just so people know. Friday through Sunday, I am out of commission. Those are my days. For the most part. If I replied to you on those days, it's because I had the availability to. Don't make it a habit, anyone. I'm telling that to myself too. So yeah, that's kind of the process. I don't really know if there's anything more I need to express about the process, but I know there's been some confusion on when it's open and when it's closed, and sometimes it's open and sometimes it's not. It really just depends on what I can do. I have made 100 candles in a week before, various sizes. So I know what I am capable of doing. I know how much I can push myself to do some really awesome things. I'm not doing that. I'm not burning myself out anymore. I'm not in alignment with this hyper productivity, whatever. I want to be in a more natural state of inspiration, not productivity. So that's like a little bit background behind my business. Like I said, my business is a spiritual business. Things are spiritually associated and aligned and evolving as I evolve. So I hope that makes sense to people. If you don't like it, there's thousands of other candle makers or authors and spiritualists and all of the above. I no longer offer tarot readings or birth chart readings. If you desperately want one from me for any reason, you can reach out and I'll think about it. I'll talk to you about it. We'll figure something out. But generally speaking, I've shifted the birth chart and the tarot to being more associated with my written work and my candle making and like that artistic symbolism, and like gift packaging than like one-on-one readings and things like that. I need to clear my plate, right? As I am growing and doing more things and wanting more balance of wellness, again in that 6th house type of thing, I'm clearing things off my plate. But I can either recommend people to someone if that is something you really need, but if you really want it from me, we can talk about it. And I'm gonna be very, I guess, ambiguous about that. Like, I'm not gonna overcommit or undercommit, because people reach out every now and then about a tarot reading, and sometimes I love doing it. Birth chart readings, sometimes it's awesome, but I don't want it to be something that I'm known for or committed to in my business. Like, I know I used to have bookings and things like that. That's gone. My ordering process now is strictly into my art. Being a spiritual person, I think sometimes people feel like they have to offer tarot readings. They have to offer, like, I have this knowledge, so I have to offer it to people. No, there's plenty of people out there who they can go to. I have plenty of people I can recommend you to if you want me to. You can also reach out and ask me for recommendations. I have on my website, I'm still building it, but I have a Wyrd community page on my website, and that is small businesses, artists, it doesn't matter, different titles of people, okay? Just people that I believe in and I think is doing something really cool. People who I feel like are in a level of soul alignment for themselves, or just genuine people who are trying to make their dreams come true, right? Variety of things. They're on the Wyrd community page, so that's also like a really good resource if you're looking for certain people or services. That could be a place you scroll through and land on someone really cool that you may not have been exposed to otherwise. So that's what the Wyrd community page is. yeah, so that's just my process on things. Moon related, flexible, a little chaotic, ambiguous, probably. There's a lot more structure to it than I think it sounds like when I describe it. To me, I'm like that. No wonder people are confused, but it's just because life is so shifty and uncertain and stuff like that. So I try to pivot and I try to allow other people, I try to provide and allow the same grace for other people to pivot. That's the best way to say that. So anyway, yeah, so enjoy my process. Have any questions, let me know. But yeah, thank you for listening.